Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you are going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that one of our admin received and gave us this translation. The translation reads like this. Hello, how are you? I have been following this channel because I am hoping that maybe there might be a traditional healer that can come here online, someone that you can share the number with the rest of us. If we want help, we can get real help from him. I have since tried to get help from some people, but some of these people that are online, it is difficult for me to be helped with those people. So I wanted someone that can be brought on this platform who says that they know what they are doing. So this is what happened to me, my brother, when I started working, and I then met my own wife here in Johannesburg, and then we started staying together. And at that time, I started cheating on her. I had so many girlfriends, but I made sure that she did not know that this is what was happening. So everything that happened after we had a divorce, because we were legally married, me and my wife, we had even bought a property here in Johannesburg. So after the divorce, things got so bad. I was so desperate trying to fix things where things had gone wrong. That is where I was trying to fix. I then found myself going to Zim, and I used one of my own car. But what I did not realize was that this traditional healer that had been introduced to me by one of this other guy who was a tenant of my mother. This man just disappeared when I told him that my things are no longer working properly, because I only made money for about 3 years. After these 3 years until now, from the year 2015, I have been suffering and suffering in silence. It was in the year 2016 when things were like really bad. The devil was hard on my tail. I even started to run mad during that time. But now I have since recovered. I was also told that maybe if I can go through this Ukutwasa ceremony, then things can be okay. This only happened for a couple of years that I was living in peace after I had gone through that traditional ceremony. But now I start to hear voices again in my head over and over again. So that traditional healer from Zim, I did not know that from the moment that I arrived at his home, he was already in love with my car. The first thing that he did was that when he saw me driving into his compound, even though he knew that I was on my way with that man who was a tenant of my own mother, he then came out and he said, "This is such a beautiful car. This is a beautiful car." He was even saying that even the number plate was very beautiful. And then we got out for a ride. He was testing that Ford Ranger that I was driving at that time. I did not know that this man, he was in love with this beautiful car of mine. When things got bad after 3 years of making money, I returned back to Zim because I could not understand why all of a sudden I was no longer making money at all. So the problem that happened from the very first time that I stepped into his consultation room was that there was no translator. This man was using his own language, telling me of all the things that I was supposed to do, in which I could not understand. The man that had brought me to Zim, he was avoiding me all of a sudden. So I honestly signed a contract which was written in Shona, in which I am a Tswana speaking man, in which I could not even understand what was really going on. Because I wanted money, I was going through that divorce. I just decided that let me just do it. Is it not far much better for me to just sign so that I can just make money? And indeed, when I returned back to Zim, I made my own money for 3 years. I was living a very comfortable life, such that even my own wife was very jealous of me, and she was desperate to get back with me. But I was dating another younger woman who left me the moment that money stopped coming to me. So me and this traditional healer, we had an agreement that I was going to make money, and each and every time when I had like clean money, which I did not understand why this traditional healer specifically told me that I was supposed to start a business for my sister, and the money that my sister was going to give me, that was the money that I was going to send to him. So each and every month I used to go to this other guy who helps people to send money to him. Then I would give him the money so that he can send it to this traditional healer. He told me that the money that I was going to send to him, it should never slip at my house. I should never put it in my pockets when I am about to send it to him. So I would tell my sister that in the morning I am going to come and collect that money that you owe me, oh dear sister. Then early morning I would go to her place, and then I would take the money and put it in a plastic bag and just put it somewhere in my car. When I would get to that place where the guy would help me to send this money to him, I will walk straight to his small shop, give it to him, and then I would let him send the money without ever putting it in my own pockets, as that traditional healer had told me. I did not even know that I was dirty already. That is why he never wanted me to put this money in my pocket or have this money slip at my house. So Brother Nashi, after 3 years, I started suffering. I started to have bad dreams. I would wake up and I would see a snake that would be staring at me. Immediately, this snake will just disappear. I would call this man and he would avoid my calls. And when I saw that the man who had brought me to Zim was nowhere to be found, because he was the one that I used to tell about all of these dreams that I was having, being chased by dead people, being chased by the spirit of my own mother, yet my mother was still alive, in which I could not even understand what was going on and what was happening. And this man, after he had disappeared all of a sudden, that was when I thought that it was far much better to return back to Zim alone. I went there, I was scared. I did not even know what was going on. And when I arrived at that traditional healer's house, then this healer then gave me a deal, and he said that, I know that you are having all of these spiritual problems, but how about we just sign sort of like a contract? You give me this car. I said, how can I give you my car? Because we never talked about this from the start. And he was like, well, you can go and find another traditional healer who can assist you. So in the end, I told myself that it is far much better for me to give this man this car, because already I had been into a mental institution. I had lost my mind. I was suffering. My businesses were going down the drain. That woman that I thought was the love of my life, she had left me, and I was going broke. Brother Nashi, I had just driven my vehicle to Zim to leave it at that traditional healer's house. We signed the papers, and he said that there was no need for this car since it was already his to return back to South Africa. It was going to cost him a lot. I signed every document and I was in pain, but he promised me that things were going to be okay again. I was going to make as much money as I wanted if I was going to give this vehicle to him, in which I did. I returned back to South Africa on a bus, even though I had driven with my beautiful car to Zim. So upon my return, I thought that the situation was going to get better. All of a sudden, this man blocked me, and he said that you and I, we had a deal and we have worked together, and I can say that I made you rich. When you meet other people that want to do these rituals, please feel free to tell them that I am here and I want to help them. If you bring me more customers, I'll be very happy. Do you hear me? And he blocked me. He just blocked me like that. I still had high hopes that maybe things were going to work out and I was forever going to be rich. So I never even bothered to look for him. Like he had told me that in 1 week time I was going to be rich, even 2 more times than the way that I was rich. So Brother Nashi, after I waited for the 1 week, after 1 week, I then found out that I was even more poor than I had been when I had went to Zim. Even the first time around, after I had lost my job. Brother Nashi, me coming here on your platform, I really want someone who can assist me. I just want this man to at least help me to be rich the way that I was the first time around when he assisted me. I feel as if this man did not only scam me, but he scammed me of the little money that I had. I was a desperate man, and he took advantage of my desperation as well, and then he took all that I had and he left me with nothing. As we are talking right now, I am currently looking for a job. I was a man who used to employ other people, but now I have nothing. I honestly want your listeners to help me. Is there someone from Zim who can assist me? If there is such a person, please tell me. If you are able to at least one day to bring a true traditional healer on your platform who deals with people who have done these rituals and people that want to be rich again after they did these money rituals the first time and did not make enough, I am willing to sacrifice anything right now, anything that belongs to me, including my children. If there is at least one that has to be sacrificed, because I have 4 kids as we are talking right now, 3 that I had with my wife and 1 that I had with my high school girlfriend. So I am willing that amongst the 4, at least one, at least for this lifetime, if I can just sacrifice one, I'll be okay. I used to live a good life, but now the life that I am living, everything is just slow. I want things to be the way that they are when I used to make money. So please post my story. When you post my story, I'll be following through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me. It was translated by one of our admin. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.